What's your number 4?
Grease.
Thank you. Oh, how did I forget Grease?
Grease and its sequel.
I never saw the sequel.
Sequel's terrible.
Everybody makes you watch Grease. Nobody makes you watch Grease 2.
Yeah. No. Grease, again, was introduced to me by my mom.
Mm.
And she's like, you'll love this. You love musicals. And I, like, at first, I liked the music.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Like, the story...
It has some good songs.
It has some good songs, but, like, the story itself is just cringy. It's cringy, and then they're all, like, in their 30s and 40s.
Mm-hmm.
And you're trying to tell me that I need to look at Kaneki and say that he's a teenage boy?
Mm-hmm.
Or Rizzo?
I don't want to wait for my mistakes.
Hey, don't worry about it, Kaneki. It was somebody else's mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she has clearly been smoking, like, cigarette packs, like, twice a day.
For 15 years.
Yeah. Like, she's not a teenager.
No.
And just the whole whiny aspect of Sandy. Sandy is so whiny.
I'm hopelessly devoted to you.
Mm-hmm.
She is so obnoxious.
Throughout the entire movie, yeah.
Yeah.
And then even towards the end...
You're supposed to cheer for her because she decides to, conform to him.
Tell me about it, stud.
Yeah, that's great. Good job.
Well, and I've made that argument and people go, well, I mean, he reached out because he tried to be like what she would want. And I'm like, yeah, and the second she shows up in the leather pants, he throws off that sweater. He's just like, fuck it, let's just do what I want to do.
Yeah, it's essentially, going into saying that, what she wants doesn't matter. It's a cheesy, romantic attempt at a comedy.
Yeah, I never ever have enjoyed it. It's not a movie I hate. It's a movie that I feel like you felt about Wizard of Oz is so overrated that and it just there's something about it that just it's off-putting to me.
Yeah.
And I've never ever found it enjoyable.
Well, I don't like so we've talked about this before. We talked about how people are treated or whatever. I don't like how the guys treat the women in it. And I know it's supposed to be like the 1950s or...
Made in the 1970s, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. But it's one of those things where it's like, it's so uncomfortable to watch.
I don't know about these chicks. Yeah, they're only good for one thing.
Then what are you supposed to do with them for the other 23 hours and 45 minutes of the day?
No, 100% agree. Of movie musicals, it's considered one of the best, and I've never ever found it to be.
I feel like when it comes to movie musicals, there are better options out there, like West Side Story or I know that one's a little bit overrated too at this point, but West Side Story is still a better story than Grease.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many other choices, and I hate the whole just the whole idea that if you're bullied enough, you can be the perfect woman that your man wants.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, people don't see that.
Or if you're not ready to have sex, but he wants to, then just...
Open your legs.
Yeah.
You don't have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's stupid.
Yeah.
And it's still really weird to see, John Travolta young.
Mm-hmm.
He has a big head for his skinny body. As he got older, he actually grew into his body.
Yeah, but now that he's bald, he looks like he's got a huge head again.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's a bobblehead. I mean, you can't talk.
Not right now, no.
But no, he's a bobblehead.
No, Xenu has not blessed him.
No.
The way he has blessed Tom Cruise.
Yeah, no.
So.
I mean, that's another thing too, is that in that movie, I feel like John Travolta is the main focus. He stole Kaneki's song, because in the actual Broadway play, Grease Lightning is Kaneki's song, not Danny's song.
It goes to show how much I know about Grease.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So it's really obnoxious that they catered to him so much. And I get that in the 70s he was like a big 70s and 80s he was like a big deal.
And he's coming off of Saturday Night Fever at that point, so.
But at the same time, it's one of those things where it's like he's really not that good of an actor. Not, or at least not in my opinion.
He's had his moments, but overall, there's a reason why his popularity wanes the way that it does. Is like somebody will cast him in something like Pulp Fiction or Get Shorty, and be like, "Oh, John Travolta's awesome," and then like every movie afterwards, you're like, "Oh, right." Honestly,
when it comes to the like musicals I've seen him in, I prefer him in Hairspray when he's a fat lady.
Dancing with Christopher Walken.
Yeah. That's a couple I can, get behind.
My number 4 is one I only watched recently for the first time. Wanted to like it so bad. MASH.
Like the movie?
The movie MASH.
I got in 2 seconds, not even 30 seconds maybe, into it, and I had to turn it off. And I had to turn the TV show on.
That is, and I wonder if one of the reasons I don't like it is because the TV show is just so much better. But it's another one of those movies, I think it was on the AFI, it was definitely on the greatest comedies list. I didn't laugh once.
Look, Mother, I want to go to work in 1 hour. We are the pros from Dover, and we figure to crack this kid's chest and get out to the golf course before it gets dark. So you go find the gas passer, and you have him pre-medicate this patient. Then bring me the latest pictures on him. The ones we saw must be 48 hours old by now. Then call the kitchen and have them rustle us up some lunch. Ham and eggs will be all right. Steak would be even better. And then give me at least one nurse who knows how to work in close without getting her tits in my way.
Oh, you fool. How do you want your steak cooked?
Yeah. I think what also gets me is that the guy who plays Hawkeye is the same actor who plays the father in Pride and Prejudice with Keira Knightley. So Mr. Bennett. Yep. And he's also, what's it called? President Snow. From the Hunger Games. And so it's like, it's really weird to see you young and trying to be funny like Hawkeye, because I've only seen you in like serious, menacing roles.
And it threw me off because all these years I thought Elliot Gould was Hawkeye in it, and he's the other character whose name Trapper. He's Trapper John. Yeah, I mean, other than the actor who plays Radar, who's the only one that crosses over from the movie to the show, the entire cast is different. And I'm not judging it based entirely on comparing it to the show. I just, as a movie, I found it meandering. I found it like I found myself, maybe this is just because I've gotten older, I found myself kind of rooting for Robert Duvall, because I was like, yeah, he's supposed to be Frank in it. In the show, we love to hate Frank.
Yeah.
But with Robert Duvall, I'm just sort of like, yeah, he's the only grown-up here. Maybe you should listen to him.
Yeah.
Seriously, Frank, I mean, does she go, or does she just sort of lie there quiet and not do anything at all? Just sort of
Keep your filthy mouth to yourself.
Or does she go,
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, like going back to like Frank, you're supposed to love to hate him because he's supposed to be that annoying character. And then in the movie, the fact that, you get so annoyed by the other portrayals that, yeah, Frank is the only character that you can be like, rooting for. I mean, I feel like if they had cast the people who originally played the roles, it would have been so much better.
You mean in the actors who played the roles in the TV show?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the movie came first.
I know, but if they had like done like casting.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
To like look, for these people.
By the end of the movie, there's like a football game that goes on for feels like 30 minutes, and none of it's funny. I'm judging it based solely on it being a comedy, and maybe also at the time, everybody's like, well, this is revolutionary because it's making fun of the army, and it's set in Korea, but it's really about Vietnam and blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. I'm just judging it based on the context of like watching it now. Mm-hmm. I didn't laugh. I don't think I even smiled
Right.
through the whole movie. I wanted to, but the movie never really got me there.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's hard with, comedies like that. Especially, coming from like this day and age, me and you have the capability of being able to watch the TV show. And then when we get really excited and want to watch the movies to it, we're almost setting ourselves up to fail.
Yeah. Like I said, I love movies from that era. This one just doesn't work for me. And I think that you could judge a movie based on like what it did at the time, but if it doesn't have that timeless quality to where you could just pop it in and enjoy it now. There's plenty of movies that are allegories for Vietnam or whatever, and they work completely for me. But
right.
MASH just doesn't.